Hello and welcome to Own Your Peace. I'm your host, Andy Thewison. And today, what if the most powerful thing you could do this season was slow down? Cancer season for me is always about coming home to myself and really enjoying this time of family, of home, and connection. In this episode, you guessed it, we're going over all things Cancer, energy, emotional nourishment, and of course, wouldn't forget it, the power of the summer solstice. So we have a lot to unpack this episode. Let's dive right in. The summer solstice. This is something that you might have heard of in, sciences growing up, but what does it mean for us on an energetic level? The summer solstice is when the sun is at the height. It is the longest day of the year, so it is both equal parts day and equal parts night. It is an energetic significance of a cosmic reset button. It amplifies our intentions, it gives us solar clarity, and it really helps us dive into our divine masculine energy. A lot of the winter months are all about feminine energy where we're resting, we're receiving ideas. As we move into the summer solstice, it's more that yang energy. It's more that masculine energy where we're taking action in our lives. We're getting things moving. We're cultivating and growing things. So this is a season of doing as opposed to the winter solstice where we're going inwards. We're kind of shutting things down and we're quieting ourselves for that deep connection, for that deep rest that is winter. So this is a time of growth and a time of really celebrating what we're doing in our lives and what we're creating for ourselves. Rituals for the solstice. I'm always about a good, energetic, let's connect with this energy and make the most of it. So, what are some things that we can do here? There's fire ceremonies. Fire ceremonies are a great way to clear things that are no longer serving us, but lighting passion within our lives. There's something magical, especially for my fire signs, of fire gazing, of spending time with that energy of fire and using that to get to deeper levels of consciousness within ourselves. So that is something to think about right now. Dancing and playing, there's nothing more magical than summer campfires and doing s'mores and sitting by that fire, but use that in a very intentional way. Another magical thing we can do right now is journaling and really asking ourselves very intentional questions about how this year is going because we are at the midway point. We are halfway through 2025. Isn't that not hard to believe? I feel like January is always like 1,000 years long. And then we kind of eke through February, and then half of March is really slow. And then we hit the spring equinox and we start with Aries season kicking off, and things just start to really fly. So we are at that halfway point. So it's a really good time to journal on how things are going for you this year so far. Celebrate the growth that you've had or celebrate yourself, the breakthroughs that have come so far this year, things that you're learning about yourself, new habits that you've incorporated that are really serving you. Celebrate all those things. Be very intentional right now and gratitude for what has bloomed thus far for you this year. Those are things that we are celebrating with the summer solstice. We planted those seeds in the winter. They were dormant, and then spring came and they started to kind of cultivate with Aries season. Then Taurus season, we continued to tend the land. And then Jen and I we were really growing things. And now we're in Cancer season where we're nurturing what we have planted. We're caring for it. A really beautiful prompt to kind of have on your heart and mind during the summer solstice portal, which is on June 20th, by the way, is what has come to light for me so far this year. Because we're going into the light, the days have continually started to get longer for us. And now we are fully in the most light. So this is a really good time to take stock of how things are going for you. How has 2025 been for you? What is working? What's not working? Those are all beautiful things to look at during this time of solstice. Now switching gears to Cancer season. So again, Cancer season and the solstice are kick off on the same day. They both start on June 20th. So that's just a couple days away if you're listening to this on the day that this drops. But it's going to be a really beautiful energetic shift. I love how the seasons just kind of build on each other. So we had Gemini season, which was fun. It was airy, it was breezy. We had a lot going on mentally for ourselves. Lots of ideas were coming in. It's a time of social connection, being the social butterfly. And it's this really carefree, fun, playful time for us. And now we're moving into Cancer season, which is more embodiment of home, of family, of connectivity. It's giving like water and heart and homebody vibes. The Cancer archetype is that of the mother and the mystic. It is a water sign, so it flows. It's very intuitive. Cancerians are very intuitive. They are ruled by the moon. Moon is very intuitive. It knows what's happening. There's this emotional depth to Cancers. Home and nurturing are all things that are play a part for those of you who are Cancers. They can also be very protective. I myself am a Cancer, so I know this one very well. For the longest time, I fought the Cancer archetype because I always thought they're crybabies, they're moody. I'm not any of those things. Maybe I am a little bit, if I'm being honest. But I'm also highly intuitive. I'm very nurturing. The people in my life I love deeply, and I'm very protective of the people I care deeply about to a fault. It is a toxic trait how much I care for people and how much I protect those in my life. So this shadow side of Cancers or Cancer season is over-attachment, avoidance of things, and being emotionally overprotective of those closest to us. So those are some things to kind of think about as the shadow during this season. How is Cancer season affecting us? Emotional vulnerability is a strength right now. There's going to be this pull towards roots, to memories, to ancestral connection. It's time to clean your emotional house. It's also maybe even a time to clean out your literal one, because Cancers are very tied to home and family. That might be a time to clean up your homes and make it more cozy. The moon cycles are going to be a little bit more intense during Cancer season because, again, Cancer is ruled by the moon. So this is a very potent window. If you go back a few episodes to my Working with a Moon Cycle episode, if you haven't already, this is the month to do it. You want to really work with those moon cycles. So the Cancer new moon is on June 25th. That's where we're setting intentions for the Cancerian moon cycle. The full moon during Cancer season is in Capricorn. It's sister sign. So there's always going to be a sister sign with every sign. Cancers and Capricorn are on the same axis, so they're sister signs. The Capricorns are meant to kind of grow towards being more like a Cancer, being more in their heart space. And then Cancers are trying to move towards being more like a Capricorn and not letting emotions rule their world. Reflection prompts for Cancer season for you is, what does emotional safety mean to you? And what memories are being asked to be healed? We're going to be doing a lot of emotional healing work. Cancer season for me is a time that I really go inward. It's fascinating to me. I always have like all this momentum, and then Cancer season comes and I literally go into my shell, and I am very quiet during Cancer season. So we'll see if that happens again this year, or if I am able to still kind of stay out of my shell. It is a pattern I have noticed for the last few years, is that I really do go inward into my shell during this time frame, this time of year. So interesting reflection of my own self. It's so fun when we start to see these patterns within ourselves. And instead of shaming them, instead of being like, oh, why do I do that? Just be curious. Like, that's interesting. I wonder if that will continue, or if that's something I need to look at or review or do something with. So always be curious when you catch these patterns. The house that's ruled by Cancer is a place where you are going to crave emotional security. It's going to a place where you need to feel safe, seen, and at home. It's a place where you tend to protect or guard yourself. You're deeply connected to your past, your roots, and your family within that house that is ruled by Cancer. It's where you express nurturing and care or need it to receive it. You may experience emotional tides and cycles within that version of you within that house. I'll go through each of the rising signs, and based on whatever your rising sign is, that is what house Cancer rules for you. So if you are a Cancer rising, it's your first house. Your first house is ruled by Cancer. So you are the nurturer, you're the protector, you're a very sensitive soul, you're deeply intuitive. And people feel your caring first. Cancer risings are going to have strong motherly vibes. They are the mother friend. Anytime you have strong Cancer energy, they're going to have this energy that they feel from you. There's always this caring, intuitive energy that just kind of comes off you in waves when you have strong Cancer placement. So if you're Cancer rising, that's in your big three, you're going to have that really strong energy. Now, if you're a Gemini rising, Cancer rules your second house. So you need emotional security to feel financially secure. You may spend on comfort to feel safe, or you want to stock money away so you have that money saved for a rainy day, and that brings you emotional security. So financial security and emotional security are very tied together for you if you're a Gemini rising. Okay, so now if you're a Taurus rising, Cancer is in your third house. So you speak from the heart, you communicate with your siblings or your local community, and it may feel deeply personal to you. Communication is a heart language for you. Now, if you're an Aries rising, you have Cancer in your fourth house. So it is at home in the fourth house. The themes here are family, roots, home life are huge. You have a deep inner world and are very sentimental. Now moving on to the fifth house. If you're a Pisces rising, Cancer rules your fifth house. It's our creative energy. So you nurture through creativity and parenting. Love must feel emotionally safe for it to bloom. If you're in a romantic relationship, you have to have that sense of emotional safety for a relationship to bloom if you're a Pisces rising. If you're an Aquarius rising, it's Cancer rules your sixth house. So you care for others in daily life and may feel emotions in your body. Routine equals emotional regulation for you as an Aquarius rising. So really making sure that you have beautiful routines that help you feel emotionally secure and nurtured. If you're chaotic and your life is all over the place and there's not that emotional regulation, you're going to feel a little dysregulated. You do need that emotional regulation on the daily as part of your daily routine. So some things to think about. Okay, so if you are a Capricorn rising, Cancer rules your seventh house. So you seek nurturing in relationships. You need a partner who makes you feel emotionally held. These are people who really need deep, fulfilling relationships where they feel emotionally safe. Now, if you're a Sagittarius rising, Cancer rules your eighth house. This is deep emotional intensity. You may guard your vulnerabilities, not letting people see them, but you crave deep soul bonding. I can attest to this as a Sag rising. So true. So now, if you're a Scorpio rising, Cancer rules your ninth house. So you seek emotional truth and philosophy and spirituality. You may feel called to nurture others through teaching. So again, remember, whatever house is ruled by Cancer is where you nurture or need to be nurtured. Maybe when you're feeling dysregulated, you can nurture yourself with learning something new. So powerful for my Scorpio risings. Okay, now Libra risings. Cancer rules your 10th house. So you're seen, because remember, your 10th house is your public persona, as a very caring, responsible, very mothering in your career. Your purpose is tied to emotional leadership. Now, if you're a Virgo rising, Cancer rules your 11th house, and you nurture your friends like their family. You have a big heart for community causes, and you have big dreams about nurturing others. Kelly Ray, my husband, is a Virgo rising, and he is the most nurturing and caring person for our friends. He is always right there. Whenever you need him, he is there. And whenever we have gone to events where we're together within a community, he sets the tone of care for the entire thing. He has so much care for everybody, and people feel that from him, especially within the community. So I love that placement for him. Okay. And then Leo rising. So if you're a Leo rising, you might have guessed it, Cancer rules your 12th house. So your private emotions run deep. You have healing and intuition that comes when you're alone, when you're in solitude. Dreams are really big for you. Really pay attention to how things are coming in through your dreams and really pay attention to ancestral patterns. Okay, so during Cancer season, there's some really cool tools that you can work with that will help really tap into this intuitive energy. So moon journaling is huge. So really pay attention to your emotions and how they're flowing throughout the month, going back and listening to that moon episode that I did a few weeks ago, and really paying attention to your dreams during this time frame. These are some really powerful things that you can do to be in alignment with Cancer season. Some crystals that are really powerful to use this time of year are moonstones, for obvious reasons, selenite, because that's a really deep cleansing crystal to use, and rose quartz, which is, self-love. And Cancer season is all about loving ourselves and mothering ourselves and really nurturing ourselves. So those are things that can really help. If you're a tea drinker, chamomile, mugwort, and peppermint are really powerful during this time of year. And then for my essential oil people, lavender and clary sage are really powerful ones to look to during Cancer season. Now, moving on to the gates within human design that are ruled by Cancer. So these are the gates that will be moving through as the sun moves through these gates during Cancer season. So if you follow my daily updates on my broadcast channel on Instagram, you'll see these themes come up for the next month. So the first gate is 56, the gate of the storyteller. So these are people who really do have a gift for storytelling. There's this nurturing that comes when you tell stories. People really lean in and love hearing your stories. So if you have gate 56, which is in the throat, it's all about telling your story and sharing your story. And you have this gift and this knack for sharing things in story form. So keep that in mind. If you have a gate 62, it's also in the throat. And this is about breaking things down by logic and seeing things and knowing that's true or that's false. You just have this inner knowing. And then once you know that it's true, you're really able to break it down and explain facts in a way that it makes sense. It's through this emotional connection to logic that you're able to take kind of the emotion out of it, which is interesting because it is a Cancer gate, but you're able to explain it so that the emotions are there, but it's done with logic. So it's a really powerful gate. And then we have gate 53, which is this energy within the root of starting things, of getting things going, of having these ideas come in. It's this gate kind of feels to me like a manifestor gate where you get an urge, you get an idea, and all of a sudden you have the start momentum to get going on things. So that is part of one of those Cancer gates. And then we have gate 39, which is also in the root center. And this is all about provocation. We've talked about this a gate because this is where my sun shines. I've mentioned it a couple times within other episodes. If you're starting here, the gate of provocation is really knowing how to ask the right questions to help people see things in a new light and in a new way, and to help bring people to higher levels of consciousness by asking really powerful leading questions to help them see things for themselves. It is a fantastic gate for helping others to see themselves. And then we have gate 52, which is also in the root, which is all about stillness. So if you have gate 52, I want you to think about a pressure valve. And when you use that pressure valve, all this pressure releases and you're in peace. You're regulated. So for you, that pressure valve looks like stillness. It looks like sitting in quiet and receiving direction straight from source, straight from God, whatever you want to call it. And in that stillness, so many ideas come to you. Now, I have these manjans, beautiful manjans. They're like, I don't sit still. I get it. So stillness can look like walking. It can look like movement and allowance for ideas to come in. Maybe it's the shower for you, but having some time every day where you're at least blocking out the energies around you and really being with your own energy and allowing yourself to connect, to receive insights and inspiration is powerful. And again, it releases that pressure for you within the root by doing that. Stillness needs to be a part of your daily practice. And then last is gate 15. So gate 15 are my extremists. They are here to really kind of dance along the fringes of life. So these are people who decide they want to be vegan and they go all in. And they buy all the books. It becomes their personality for a little minute, and they're all in. They are the people who jump first and ask the question second. And once they're all in, they go to those fringes. They go to those extremes of things. But by doing so, they're getting information. They're never going to stay in extreme for long. They always come back to center and they're like, well, that was a lot. And then they come back with so much wisdom from learning. They go to the places that not all of us are willing to go and really help us learn balance. And there's this beautiful energy of flow and trusting your intuition to guide you within this gate 15, because these are also people who don't like rigid routines. They like to flow with their days. These are people who are not going to be real excited about you giving them a strict, structured routine or itinerary for their days. They want to kind of just like flow with where their energy is going that day. And that's beautiful. So those are the gates within human design that are within that Cancerian energy. Now moving on to collective themes that we'll be feeling into during this next month. And we talked about this: ancestral healing, nurturing generational patterns. Really pay attention to those and kind of looking at those things in a new lens this time of year and redefine what home and belonging feels like for us. It's no wonder that July is family reunions and working on home projects like working out in the yard, working on things within the house. There's a lot going on related to home during Cancer season. It's no wonder, because we naturally feel that pull and that call to home and putting our energy and connecting our energy to home during this time of year. We're also learning how to prioritize emotional boundaries and energetic hygiene. So those are important things to be looking at. This is a time where we learn how to really pay attention to what our emotional needs are and how we can do that. We're leading from compassion and not control during Cancer season. Cancerians are very compassionate. They are very concerned about how everyone else is feeling and how their actions and their words affect those around them. I have a few Cancerian friends, and we all kind of have this in common: is we're so concerned about how other people will react to how we say things, or how our actions will affect those around us. There's this scene from New Girl. If you've ever watched New Girl, it's like one of my favorite shows. I highly recommend it. It's just like a fun one that you're going to want to watch over and over again. And there's this clip that I often see on social media that is Schmidt is with Jess and they're in the car and he's like, you just go around all day worrying about what other people think and worrying about other people's feelings. And she's like, yeah. She's like, well, that must be exhausting. That is being a Cancer. We are walking around constantly worried about how others are feeling. We tend to be emotional regulators. We are hypersensitive. We pay attention to how you're feeling. And we would never want to do anything to intentionally hurt you unless you hurt one of our people. Then we're talking. Then you're going to see another side of Cancerians. I hope you enjoy this Cancer season and you cozy up at home with your people. You love your people hard. You enjoy this beautiful season of celebration of what we have created for ourselves so far this year, and really looking to what we want to create for ourselves for the next part of this year. Again, this is a time of celebration, of family, of home, of nurturing ourselves so that we can continue to work towards those things we want to create for ourselves. Next week, I'll be back and we'll be talking all about incarnation crosses. So I'm excited to dive into that conversation about incarnation crosses and kind of break it down in a new way that you might not have seen it done in that way before. So much love. Have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you soon.